Greetings of peace and welcome. My name is Anthea Alexander, and I am a coach. I coach a lot of different things nutrition, mindset. I can also help people with financial freedom. And I'm joined this evening from Melbourne with my dear friend and colleague, Yogi Sanjiva or Sanji. And Sanji is joining us from Sri Lanka. I'll allow him to introduce himself in a little bit, but just a little bit more about our beautiful conversation this evening. So, we've had a break for a few weeks, and I've actually really missed these conversations. So, I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to having them. They're a weekly highlight for sure. So, what this all is all about, it's a podcast of sorts, an evening of open conversation where we discuss all sorts of different topics and issues, and anyone is welcome to join us. The only thing that we ask is that people are respectful. So, basically, tonight's conversation topic is about life changes or life phases, which I'm sure we're all familiar with in some shape, or form. It's very relevant to us. So, basically, the concept, as I've discussed, is about creating a space where that is safe and sacred for people to join us, for us to discuss whatever is relevant at the time. And yeah, anyone is welcome. And basically, I'll hand it over to Sanjeeva now, or Sanji, Yogi Sanjeeva, to introduce himself. And then we can move on with our wonderful conversation. So over to you, Sanji.
Oh, thank you so much, Anthea. Like always, it's a great pleasure to be here. So, yeah, today we are going to talk about life changes, and there's a lot of life changes happening. So, yeah, and I am Yogi or Sanjeeva. It's my birth name, and so I'll be using that. So, then, yeah, I teach meditation and we do coaching and counseling in the spiritual side and mentoring. And Anthea and I involved in uh, a product like offering people products that are really helpful, like natural products. But I couldn't do actually nothing at all at this time. But Anthea is really involved in that. So. We'll let Anthea talk about it, bring it up and introduce it. So, yeah, so today's topic we thought of discussing life changes because life changes, it happens, no, it happens in daily basis or like in lifespan, it happens. I also been going through a lot of things and people, for the better or the worse, it happens. Either they like it or not, it happens, no? And in every moment also, like we are moving our hands, like we are talking, we are thinking, no? And all this, even the suits we wear, no? They also change and everything, no? The words, the thinking patterns and everything. So even now, the energy we are using, the food we eat, no? And I'm also like involved in like long fast and all these things this in this time period also. So you can feel how it's affecting our organs and all these things, and then how it's used up. That's why we eat again. So there are so many changes that happens. We'll talk about this. I'll let Anthea talk about Anthea about these products and all. Uh, you are well into that, and you try to help people with that. Can you please explain a little bit more about it?
I sure can, Sanji. So basically, both Sanji and I are involved with an organization called Lifestyle Management Group, or LMG for short. And our philosophy is 80% nutrition, 20% movement, and 100% mindset. So what we do is we can help people with weight maintenance. So if they need to release weight or they need to gain weight, also maintain weight, we can help people with energy. We can also help people to achieve certain health goals. We also deal with a range of different health goals. So they could be healthy aging, sports nutrition, outer nutrition, so skin, which is our largest organ that we really want to look after our skin very well. So range of health issues, physical health issues, I should say. We also really help people with personal development and mindset. So we can really help you and guide you along your journey as coaches. So the best way to can is really if you're interested in improving your health or improving your financial situation, we also help with that. So is to really reach out to one of us, and we can certainly have a talk with you about it. We can even have a three-way call and discuss your goals and what you're wanting, and then we can guide you from there. So that's the best way if you're wanting to work with us, and we'd love to hear from you about that. So please feel free to reach out, and also please feel free to reach out about any topics that you might like us to discuss during our podcasts or open conversations, because we're quite open to people's feedback, and we'd love to hear from you about what's important to you as well. Okay, so in terms of life changes or life phases, so when I think about life changes or life phases, the main things that I think about are like being born, like so rites of passage. We're born into this world, and then we're a child perhaps for the first 7 years or so. A lot of cultures and teachings look at that period of time from when we grow from being very dependent on our parents or our caregivers to being able to talk and basically able to do a lot more things for ourselves. Then we age a bit more and we grow into teenagers, and that's when we're really testing boundaries and working out what's the world's about, working out perhaps what we're wanting to do and our place in the world. And then we grow older still, and we might go to university and uh, start to work, start to look for a life partner and build a family if that's what we're wanting to do. And all the meanwhile, we have our family and our community and our friends around us. And then age still, and we basically might have changes in our work, changes in our faith, as certainly was my experience as well. When I was around 40, I actually changed my faith from being a Christian to a Muslim person, and all the different changes that occur with that, the different community, different way of seeing the world, and an ongoing journey of teaching. And then we get a bit older still, and I'm turning 53 next week, but don't tell anybody. And all of a sudden, there's new things that are, I shouldn't say new things, but ongoing changes that we experience. So our bodies change as we age. As a woman, you stop being in a position to perhaps give birth to a child. So now your body is using energy in a different way, and there's different other health issues that may be considered as well. So, and then it's about healthy aging, I think, now from here. So that's what comes into mind for me when I think about life changes, but that's very, very broad and vast. But we might just narrow it down to some particular life changes that we would like to talk about. So How about you, Sanji? What are your thoughts about this topic?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's can you can hear me, right?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Ah, okay. So I must say, and then yeah, like when you said like in ancient wisdom also they talk about in even like they signify the time. For example, there are ways of people paying homage, like you must have seen in some videos or something. Not that people are like forced to do it; they do it. Nah? So there is one way like mm, they how to say like they kind of stay in a like a squatting position. uh, and then there's like a position like you have there are five places of your body like your forehead and these two and your knees. The five places touch the surface, and then there you must have seen in like some places like they stretch out and they pay respects. So it might feel odd, and in some cultures this is normal. Uh, and so actually, in a way, these are time periods signifying some moments in our life. So, for example, like the cuddling position is like the time in our womb. And then like the five places that are like touching at all, it's actually like coming out of the mother's womb and coming into this life. And then the stretching position, it's a significance, but it has many other meanings also. It's like your last stages in your life. So even those things I'm telling is like have like significance, and they're trying to show people like in whatever these stages, if you realize or like or reach liberation, you can be free even like no from forever even just so I like that people are trying to show different stages at different times, and then there are meditations you have to reflect on these kind of things. There are specific meditations, and then there are like verses like that say uh, from birth, aging, sickness, and death. uh, you reflect, I'm not yet free. uh, so with that the whole package comes, right? It doesn't, and some places it is mentioned as a vehicle with eight wheels. uh, you don't just get the good things, no, like if there's happiness, there's sadness. If there are a lot of people around you, then you get become isolated at some point, and then you can have a lot of praise, and then you can have a lot of blame. uh, Labo alabo, yes, yeah, ninda. Yeah, and then you can receive a lot of things, and then you you can be like not receiving anything at all, no. That also, so these are the eight things, the opposites, and some are positive, but a vehicle that has only four wheels in one side, it would collapse, no, or like it won't go ahead. Maybe it will try, but it will destroy the vehicle also if the other side is there are no wheels, no. So coming back to like yeah, the changing process, sometimes it's like a bit hard to kind of like solve it, no. But these changes happen, and some you see even like children. uh I saw like a mother, they don't show the mother, but they just show the child, and the kid is crying. And so maybe the mother is in the front seat, and there's the other seat, and the child is hitting her head against the seat and crying. And then the mother says like, oh, why are you crying, no? And she said, oh, I don't want to be an adult. I want to be I want to be like a child forever. And then the mother is also telling like, I'm really sorry, like I also wish I was a child, but here I am, no? So yeah, like but then the child keeps on crying, like I don't want to be an adult and like that. So yeah, like but we have to do some things, and the change is unavoidable. Yeah, it happens, no. So we'll try to look into different ways which is helpful for anybody, and how to cope up with these things and all. But even in different times as a child and different times in your life, no, and as we grow up, physically, mentally, socially, around there are so many changes that happen. And like you mentioned, no, like now we are going like from the middle times of our life. So it's not like when we were very young, no. It's different than what it was. So that is how it is, right? So then they'll need a level of acceptance and all. Some people don't like to accept even. Some people in their lives because they don't accept it. It can happen, no? We have seen these kind of things. Some people, uh, or they go into some kind of substance abuse, or like they just to forget it, or maybe alcohol or something, just to remove that thought of it. Or even some people when they are aging, they try to do all these surgeries and all, which is fine if they like, but some people like really they cannot stand it, no. And they try to fix it. Sometimes it gets even more bad than it should be, or like they spend like millions, or sorry, like thousands of any currency they have for those kind of things. So not that they should not do anything, but uh, the acceptance part is also there, no, involved. So some people don't think like these things will happen to them. Or when we were in our younger times, no, like when you see an elderly person, we didn't think at that time, oh, this will happen to us, right? We didn't think because that thought didn't come to our mind even. Maybe we were like sometimes laughing at them, even if they, oh, what do they know, like this is their old times, no, it's now the new times, it's different, all these things. So what do you think about it, Anthea?
So it's a really fascinating topic, and I loved what you said about birth, death, sickness, and there was something other that you said about
Aging.
aging. Okay, so when we face these four uh, issues, that we reflect that we're not free. Is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's really very, very poignant, and I can really relate to what you said there, that we are not free. I'm just writing that down as well. So yes, very, very poignant issues and rites of passage. So just taking it back to when we're younger, and as you said, we would look at older people, and if they were 40, it'd be like, oh, wow, they're so old. I can't imagine being that old. And we probably can't imagine being that old because we know what we're used to, and we feel like our whole lives are ahead of us. And I was talking about this with one of my friends recently, and talking about the risks that we take as we're growing up,
Mhm.
because our brains aren't fully developed yet. And until they say in science, like until we're in our early 20s, our brains really aren't fully developed. So we take so many different risks, and we feel like we're bulletproof and that nothing can hurt us. And yeah, so many risks. And it's normal as I see it, because it's part of growing up and it's part of expanding into who we are. And by pushing the boundaries, we learn about ourselves, we learn about other people, we learn about what's safe, what's not safe. Even a child, like if they're going to touch something that's hot and their parents say,
Mhm.
don't touch that, it's dangerous, or whatever the word that they might use. But if the child touches it and feels that it's hot, yes, they'll certainly learn that way. And what else did I want to say about that? Yeah. So when we're younger, we feel like we've got the whole our whole lives ahead of us, which we may have, we may not, because we don't know when we're going to be leaving this earth. So nobody can tell us. So we may have a short life, or we may have a longer life. We don't know, and again, no one can tell us whether we're going to experience sickness. Some people, everybody experiences sickness at some stage of their lives, I would say, and it can also bring a lot of blessings with it, because I think that, as you said, we reflect that we're not free. Um, we also, if we experience sickness and potentially ongoing disease or pain or whatever it might be that we're experiencing, I think that it really can teach us to be more patient, and it can teach us that uh, how to be a bit more understanding of other people, so that if we see someone or talk with someone who we might be more aware that yes, they're struggling a little bit, or um, that not everybody's lives are going perfectly. So when we deal with people in our everyday lives, we can just be gentle with them and listen to their story, and then respond to them according to how we feel is how we perceive what is going on for them. So I work in a supermarket and deal with a lot of customers,
Mm.
and some of the customers are older, and they'll say, "Can you help me with this? Can you help me check out these items?" And I'll help them, and I'll talk with them and just respond with them and interact with them. And sometimes they might have had some medical checkups or some treatment. So I can help them with the lifting, or they might just enjoy talking to someone. I could be the only person they talk to, or
Mm.
one of the only people that they talk to that day. So we just don't know. So I think that's where it really comes back to the importance of kindness and listening and having time for people, because we just don't know how much of a difference it can make in their world by just slowing down a little bit and listening to them and responding to them and being kind. It just can make the whole world of difference for people who are going through challenging times. So I'll hand it back over to you, Sanji. There might be some other wisdom that you'd like to share, or perhaps focusing in on particular teachings or uh, sort of phases of life. I'll hand it over to you to
Okay.
talk to what
Uh,
resonates with you.
okay. So there, I remembered like there was in a, this was in some doctrine. So they say like when a person goes to hell, the gatekeepers of hell. Oh, so in some places it doesn't directly say devil. There are like in some teachings, like they spoke of different levels, different in some places they talk about 8 stages, and they have like four, like in 4 directions, which has like a cluster of sorry. So each one has like 16 around them. Uh, so each one has like a gatekeeper or like a, person who is in charge. But actually, they say this person is quite reasonable. So they ask like they don't just. But there are one hell that if you do very big harm, like killing your mother, father, these kind of things, there's no verdict in that. It seems. Like you were just drawn to that, you go through that. That's it. Rather than that, like other times they just have like the question in a way, like in some practices they say there's like judgment, no? They ask, so like that I'll just bring this up. So they ask these people like, okay, here you are. Huh? Did you not see the 5 angels? uh, or like the messenger, heavenly messengers? Then these people say like, no, like no, what are the heavenly messengers? We didn't see. So they ask like, did you not see a little child? Then yes, I have seen little children. How can they be a heavenly messenger? And then did you not think like I was in a stage like a little infant with my excreta, urine, and all? I was rolling in that, and I needed other people help. And at that time, I could not do good things, wholesome things. And if I'm born again, I'll be in that same stage if I become a human. So did you not think like within that time I should do some good rather than doing bad? Or then they say like it seems, oh, nobody told me of this and I didn't know of this. And then they give a second chance. Did you see the second messenger? What is that? If I knew that, I would not be. Then did you never see a sick person? Oh, I have seen plenty of sick people. Did you not think when you were healthy and you were doing all these bad things? Uh, I also can be sick, and within the time I am healthy, I should do some good. Uh, they say, oh, nobody told me us about this, and then I also didn't think of this. Then he has like the third. Did you see any elderly people? Yes, I have seen plenty of elderly people. So did you not think I am also coming to a stage like that? Uh, and then I cannot do any good and all. I will be weak and all. No, no, I didn't think or nobody told me. And then they asked, like, did you see people who pass away? Yeah, I have been. I have been to funerals also. But did you not think I'll be in a stage like that? And so this course, it's long, no? They repeat the same sometimes. And then they ask, like, did you not see? They explain it a lot also. Did you not see, like, people who were punished by the kings those days? And they have exactly put the details also. And then of the punishments. And yes, I have seen. Maybe he also went through, or she also went through, no? And then, and did you not think I can fall into these kind of things, uh, or I can even in future lives or something, either rightfully or falsely accused. And when I'm like free as an individual like this, I should have done any good or good things before those things came across. No, nobody told me or nobody. So these are the five, no? A little child, a sick person, an elderly person, a corpse, a dead body, and a person who is like punished by for some reason. eh. So then they said, no, 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 I could not think of all. Then they say like, oh, this is your own fault. eh. Then you will have to uh, how to face the consequences of your own doing. Then they drag him and put into the hell, it seems. But they give. So some people they remind of some good deed they do, and they actually they this is a chance for them, it seems. And then they remember some good deed, and then actually some escape that even, it seems. So this is a chance, it seems. And even the gatekeeper, they don't like to do that job, and they are thinking, it seems like, oh, I have to punish people and put them, or I have sentenced people, but I wish someday I can get out of this and go to a human existence and do good. So they also think it seems that so yeah, so these are like opportunities that give. So Anthea, my thing is like, when change happens, there is a huge uncertainty, right?
Yes.
We call it the comfort zone also, right?
Mm.
So when they are in some place after some time, maybe a couple of years, or as a child, we have our parents maybe, or anybody who's supporting, or any, even if it's a child who survived a lot of hardships, they get used to something, and then there's another stage, another thing like that, right? So then there's like, okay, it's like you are on an island, and you know a little bit of the island, how to find the food, maybe, even if it's a deserted island, but still you know how to get because you are still surviving, right? Then
Yes.
suddenly there's this vast ocean right in front of you, and you have to go. You cannot stay in the island. And then maybe there's an island somewhere, but you never know, right? There is, but no. But this uncertainty brings a lot of pressure. Yeah. So how can we, or how did you deal with these kind of things, which is a fact, right? That's why people don't like to leave. There are some people I talked with, and uh, they are in some habitual pattern. They don't want to get out, or they know somebody who doesn't want to get out of that habitual pattern. Uh, Still, like they are now elderly and all, but or mature in their mature not stages, but they don't want to go out of that. They say, "Oh no, this is not working. That is not working." So how to have that leap of faith? We'll come to that, but what do you think about this uncertainty and that, like, the vast ocean where we have no kind of, not like a clue even sometimes, no? And like we don't know are there sharks in this, or like no crocodiles or seawater crocodiles, or even if it's a river, no? So, and where is the next nearest island where can we just hop in, no? But so how do you see these, and how did you deal with it in your life? What are your ideas about it? Which is true, right?
Okay, so my ideas about it is true. And I love that analogy of being on an island that you get used to. It might be deserted, but you get used to where to find the coconuts and
Yeah, I
where
also think he
the
got
good
coconuts.
fishing spots are. Yeah. Yeah. Where the good fishing spots are, how to make the fires, and where to get some sort of clothing from, or, just meeting our daily needs. And then all of a sudden, someone says, stop, you have to move to another island.
Hmm.
And then you think, well, where is the next island going to be for me? Will there be people there? Will there be food there? Will there be shelter there? So uh, it's it's very challenging, and I think that can be very stressful for people. And just before our conversation started tonight, Sanji and I were just having a little bit of a chat, and I was mentioning to him that they say moving house is one of the most stressful things that we can do in this, you know, um, current modern times, because and that, look, there may be more stressful things, of course, but moving house, if you have a lot of possessions, and that's like when you're on your desert island and you like have to pick up all your things and then all of a sudden go over to another island. So,
Hmm.
and there might be a lot of memories, and there might be a lot of people that you're moving away from. So I can talk about the last time I moved house. So I have spent most of my life in one particular area in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. So there's a lot of memories for me there. I went to kindergarten there, and then I did my primary schooling and my secondary schooling there. And I knew, and I worked there, and I was very familiar with the community. And then basically, as you grow older, uh, times change and people move away. So your friends move away, and friends that are so important when we're in our sort of formative years, especially when we're teenagers. Our friends are so, so important to us. They get older and they move away, and so we might lose contact of friends. So, about 4 years ago, I moved from that area, which is where my family home was, over to an area that I didn't really know very much. But the reasoning behind moving here was because it was in the center of my activities. So I was
Hmm.
studying at the time, and then I was working, and then I was uh, our wellness coaching work as well. There was a center that I could connect in with. So where I was moving to was close to all these activities. So I thought, well, that's as good enough as anything. And somehow, and everybody believes in different things. I believe in God or Allah. Uh, Somehow things work out. I don't know how, and I think it's about having faith and trust in the divine, or in whatever we might believe in, the universe, higher source. Um, Somehow things work out, and I believe that there's a plan for us anyway, for the major things in our life. So the major things are mapped out, but then we have, this is what I believe, that we have free will in how we might get over to our desert island, our new desert island, but it's already mapped out that Anthea will go from desert island A to desert island B in at this period of time, and she'll meet such and such and such and such, and like she'll meet Sanji in this year, and
Mhm.
yeah, so the major things are set out. So I think then it's about having the faith and knowing that, like, the way I see it is if you're like on a cliff and you get to the edge of the cliff and you jump off, and it doesn't mean you're going to be killed by being crashed on the rocks, or it doesn't mean you're going to be eaten by sharks. Like a flying, some sort of like an angel could come and save you, or you might dive into the water and you might be able to swim, or you might land safely some other way. So we just don't know what's going to happen to us, and that's, I think, where the uncertainty comes in.
Mhm.
So uh as another friend, that a dear friend of mine, and she reminds me that in those times of uncertainty, that can be the uncertainty is really the only thing that is certain in our lives, because our
Oh yeah.
lives are full of
Mhm.
changes.
Mhm.
So it's okay to feel uncertain and it's okay to feel uncomfortable. And we just keep taking small steps each day and be really gentle and patient with ourselves, depending on the changes that might be happening in our
Mhm.
lives. But somehow everything seems to work out. And yeah, I believe that there's benevolence all around us. There's love and there's generosity and there's peace and there's joy, and yeah, all surrounding us, that, forces that want us to want the very best for us, and also people that want the very best for us, and people can help us so much on our journey as well. So I'll hand it back over to you,
Mhm.
to hear your thoughts about that.
Yeah. Like thing is like how people can face this. Yeah, like what you said. Like if we have faith in a particular God, or like what we believe in, that is like they call it a leap of faith even, no?
Mm.
Like so it makes sense. So and then I was thinking like when you're talking this, Anthea, like not only that, no, people when their view changes suddenly or ideology changes or maybe their job changes or the place of, like you said, the place of stay. uh, so I was thinking like there are people, or as a monk, like those days I used to move from place to place, no. So that at that time my mind I was thinking this also, no, then that at that time, because it's not forever, they call it from home to homelessness, like they call in English translation they call it like that. uh, so uh, likewise, so there are there are cattle herdsmen or families, or there were some people they would move, right, or hunter gatherers maybe, and they would move from place to place, or still there are in some places they would, now it's because so difficult because they have like separated all these and fenced it out. But those days in I saw like I think it was in Ethiopia, like there are these people who keep the cattle, and then they go in like very harsh lands also, and they do it in a particular way, like they let the water collect in the rainy season, and actually that helps for like trees to grow after that. But they know a particular way, they make like small ponds and let the water collect, and within that they place like things around it, so those the ecosystem is also supported, and then it benefits them also when the next turn they come in that cycle. So then there that will be more, there will be vegetation there. uh, so likewise, like, but these people are always on the travel. What about people on a circus, right? Or like traveling all the time, or people who are in jobs that need traveling all the time.
Mm.
Some people they are established, but sometimes they may be spending a lot of times on airplanes, right? Going from here to city to city maybe, or they spend a lot of times in hotels. They go for seminars and all the things. So is it that like after some time, or what about people who are homeless? They don't know. Sometimes they can go to a shelter, and or they're on the streets, and they may be like asked to leave that place, or somebody who is more stronger can come and like take over that place, or the rain. Uh, so they are always they have to be either they can be super rich, but still they can be traveling from country to country, right? Seminar to seminar. But it could be a person who's like doing a livelihood and still like doing maintenance, repairs, no? Still they are on the move, or circus maybe. Uh, or some players, so they go from country to country, no? Or city to city, or maybe some performance, or like drama or theater, no? They also do that, right? Those days it was much more. Or salespeople, no? They also do, no? Like go from function to function, maybe. So their life is always on the move, no? And the other thing we can think like even animals or people when they're homeless also. So is it that after some time their mind gets adjusted to that? I was thinking like the time I saw monk also because okay now you know this is your life. Uh, Before okay you had this thing, so then you are based on that and you come back again to that same location, no? But what if you are like always on the move? Since okay you have this kind of things, you are like equipped with it. Maybe people, what about people who are living in a like a RV, no, like a or a trailer? There are people who choose to live in a bus, or like some are really like millions of dollars, and they are luxury buses, right? They are converted into a home. Some even have like a Porsche car or something coming out of the sides of it. Yeah, like they have electricity and everything there, right? And
Yeah.
their families are living there. Some people in lesser ones, but they have like that is their life, right? And some people do it on purpose because they want to enjoy life. They convert a old Volkswagen van or something, and then paint it and do all these things. And they maybe two of them live in there, not because they are poor or anything, but they want to be like that at least for some time.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Like, is their mindset coming to like, okay, like this is our life now, and now we are equipped to do that? Like people who go on like backpacking or like journeys, no, all through the world. You never know what comes through up, no? From the videos they share, sometimes they fall into difficult situations also, scammers and all of things, or they put themselves into trouble. So I I just think like that mind frame comes aligned, and they like kind of like it's not good people are homeless or something like that, but in that condition also like the mind kind of like adjusts, no? And okay, this is my life now. What do you think about that, Anthea?
Well, what I think is that generations and generations and generations ago, we were probably part of tribes that did travel around all the time.
Mhm.
So there may be a part of that in some people that is perhaps that's part of their brain or their psyche or their soul that is very much connected with their heritage,
Mhm.
so that they are wanting to travel around a lot. And when, so for example, if we're living in a tribe and we're traveling around in our tribe, we really have to have our wits about us and our instincts, because there would be all sorts of things going on. Although it could be very peaceful traveling around with your tribe, but there might be wars with other tribes.
Sure.
There might be
Mm.
dangerous animals. There would be things that we would be dealing with. I can only imagine on a daily basis that we would need to respond to and react to. So what I'm thinking, Sanji, is that for those people that choose to travel around and choose that lifestyle, there are different parts of their brain that are activated that allow for them to deal with that. So, for example, a backpacker that gets into trouble. So, yes, when you travel overseas, some countries you've got to be really careful because people might steal things from you, or they
Mm-hmm.
might try and scam you, as you said, or they might try and take advantage of you if you don't speak the same language, or
Mm-hmm.
your language skills are not as good as theirs. So it's about having your wits about you and assessing your situation, and almost like going back to, or part of our brains, and I don't know all the scientific terms, but it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like our animal instincts and just responding to situations rather than, for example, if you're staying in the same place every night. So, for example, for me, I know where I'm coming home to. I know that my cat's here. I know that, how to travel to and from my workplace, and I know basically where I'm going to. And the timing might change a little bit, but the major places that I go to stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really interesting and fascinating, and I often wonder about homeless people and how they manage. Um, and yeah, perhaps that's another topic that we could discuss one week. So yeah, really fascinating. But I feel that some people really have that sort of wanderlust or that real passion about traveling. But I'm sure that there would be pros and cons about that, like so good and bad. I think of musicians or big bands like Coldplay
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
whomever the band is,
Mm-hmm.
um, traveling away from their family. And yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think that would be really challenging. So that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, no, that's true. Like they are on the tour buses. It's a bus,
Mm,
right?
yeah,
And they are with maybe the same people for a long time. And some people even get the stress of it. These stars, like it's too much for them to bear.
mm,
And yeah, another thing I wanted to ask, like, what about these
sure.
natural disasters? Like people have everything set. Uh, we are just talking about changing, no? So,
Mm,
like we were talking about people who move regularly for many reasons. Even if they are rich, they sometimes some corporate person or some big person, like even presidents and all. I don't think they have much of time to like just hang around, no? Even
no,
if they wish, they have to go here and there do this, no? So even if they have a beautiful place to stay with all the security and all, I don't think they get to stay there much. So, so what about like people who are already set and then suddenly some disaster happens? No, they don't even accept it, but they have to move.
mm,
Sometimes just with what they are just wearing, and
mm,
not their bank books, not their cars. No, not it's like just they have to run to save their lives. Maybe it could be not even a man-made disaster. It could be a natural disaster. No, like an earthquake, no, or a storm, no, or some
mm,
flood coming, and then suddenly their whole life changes.
yeah, yeah,
That is a big thing, right? It could be war and these kind of things also, and they might lose a lot of things, even like no, like their relatives or people around them. That is horrible, wherever they are, no. So but say they escape their lives, uh, and they have their family and all, but still like all these plans and hopes and future and maybe insurance documents, deeds for the housing, properties, nothing, no, just wiped off within a split second or few
mm,
minutes maybe. uh, so
yeah,
how does that apply, no, when we are talking about change? This is like drastic change that okay, surely there are like suddenly you lose your job, and those also big, things in life. uh, or somebody close to you or something, those also happen. But
yeah,
no, but sometimes like suddenly everything is just taken away from you in a glance and you don't even know what was coming, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
So, okay, when we are moving here and there, at least we have our stuff and like these things
Mm.
and at least a couple of bags, no? Even if we don't have a proper place to stay, or if you are moving from hotel to hotel or house to house or renting a place, or even if you are moving in a trailer or something like that, no? We
Mm.
still have things, something, no? And the documents maybe. But what about the people who just lose it? Everything in a sudden, then they have no idea what hit them even, no?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
This is like drastic change in a person's life.
Most definitely. Mm. And that also brings to mind some stories that I've heard about refugees and having to leave their country, choosing to leave their country, having to leave their country, being forced to leave their country of
Mm-hmm.
birth for whatever reasons, and they basically just go. They don't have time to get their papers and clothes and pack. They just
Mm-hmm.
know that the opportunity is there, or the drive, or the call for them to leave, and they
Mm-hmm.
just leave and they don't know what they're going to. So, yeah, incredibly challenging. But I know of a person who has fled from a refugee country from the Middle East, and he's actually involved in lifestyle management group. The very incredible man, and he talks about his story of leaving Iran
Mm-hmm.
and then basically coming over to Australia. And he's a very successful man now. Um, and he has a family, and he's built an incredible business, and he's helps a lot of people. His story is just incredible because at about 13, he just decided that he couldn't do what he wanted to do in his life by staying in his home country with his family.
Mm-hmm.
And at 16, he just off, didn't know
Mm-hmm.
where he was going to. He just knew he couldn't stay there any longer. So it's incredible. I think it speaks to the incredible resilience of the human spirit and the incredible strength that we have. And they also talk about in our personal development that we don't use much of our talents in this day and age. We use maybe 20 or 30% of, if you
Mm-hmm.
imagine a computer or a phone, and you just use 20 or 30% of the capacity of the computer or the phone, that's about what we use. But we can change that. We can actually use 35%, 40%, 45%, 50%. So perhaps in those situations, somehow we can open up our capacity and use more of our capacity. Like they say in situations where there might be an accident where perhaps a car drops onto somebody or a tree, and that people can go in and they can just have superhuman strength and like lift the car off. And
Mm-hmm.
they don't even know where it comes from, but it just comes from somewhere. They
Sure.
know they have to do it, and they just do it. So it's quite fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's
Mm,
very nice. You brought it up.
yeah.
Uh, and there was one person in the session, like when you talking this, but he had kind of like a bit of a trauma. What you told was a great story. He was a great success story. This person also, like he came to a different country from a specific country like that, and they were kind of like oppressed, and they somehow other smuggled their way through or came through, and now they are all their life like they have good profession. They came when they was very small. Their parents had to endure a lot of things,
Mm,
and but they are also like their childhood also was taken away,
yeah.
uh, and when they came to a good country also, still like this person, from the things he was telling, like he lived a life where he had to for example, when the other kids were playing, he would go and hide, it seems. uh, so now he's like he's in his middle ages. He has a wonderful family, or everything seems well. He has like good profession, good businesses, all, but he's still lacking that part, that gap. And he has a brother also, but he brother also is in a good profession, all these things, but still it seems like his brother is also in some kind of difficulty. And so yeah, like through the changes that it also happens, but in a way like they kind of have psychological things also going on, that needs healing and
Yeah.
recovery, no, but it's difficult to fill in the gaps because they went through these things. So what can we say about it, no, like if as a child, if this person was hiding, we cannot say, oh, like it's already done, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
cannot say you should not have hidden, no, like why did you hide, or like now there's no need of hiding or anything, we cannot say, right?
Mm.
So yeah, like, but it's there are many good people like who came out of very tough situations and really thrived, because more difficulty, more things they had to face in life, the more the capacity and the energy and everything, like you mentioned, no, like the
Mm.
real strengths in them came up.
Mm.
And I think these people also did, but the only thing that maybe because they were children at that time, no, usually child is very vulnerable
Yeah.
and they don't know how to cope up with many things, no.
Yeah. Yeah. And they talk about inner child healing, and there are lots of experts who are very good with dealing with helping people deal with trauma. And I also have a teacher, and she says that it's never too late to have a good childhood. So there's ways of going back and healing that. And I think also through meditation and the beautiful healing that you can offer as well. That there's ways of helping people if they want it, to go back and to help to address those wounds that occurred in their childhood. And I think that most people have trauma from their childhood that is unhealed, and it affects their everyday life, whether they realize it or not. And it's almost the more you look at it, the more you find. But it's just, yeah, a matter of perhaps what how hard you're willing to work and how much effort you're willing to put into it. And yeah, so that's even another topic, I think, for discussion.
Yeah.
Childhood trauma.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So maybe like for conclusions, like
Yes,
how can we, like, okay, like one some things like we see like uncertainty, certainty is like some certain thing, no.
that's right.
Yeah, no? It is
Mm.
something that really happens. So uh in a way I feel like we have to accept it. And because we never, even if a person builds a house, they don't know what happens next. They could be scammed, no? They could be, or some government policy can say like nobody builds this according to these things, no more, no more. Or the equipment or the how say the cost of that house can increase, or then they have to stop at somewhere. Or they have their dream home, but like it's difficult to afford maybe. So they have to accept something that is like next to it maybe.
Mm.
So even like life changes and all, like these things, uh, we never know. Even if you drive a car or go in some vehicle, like the tire can go, no, like become flat. We were never expecting. We don't want that to happen even, no. And we
No,
take precautions. We check the air pressure and all these things, but still it happens, right?
that's
Uh,
right.
so uh, acceptance, I feel like, is a thing. And if we accept and if we see like, okay, this is impermanent anyways, but I have to do my thing. And so another thing is like, yeah, we are in a mind frame that we are ready for it, uh, rather than looking at it like the empty oceans, no? Or the
Mm.
oceans, okay, like what if I make a raft? Or what if I learn to swim? Or if I can swim? Okay, there can be a crocodile or a shark or something that comes, but no, but what if like, okay, but I still take the chance, no? And
Mm.
people live on a day-to-day basis. Some people live on a day-to-day wage. So they don't know, right? It's very stressful and all these things, but still they live. They don't give up on life, no?
No.
So the hope and the understanding and the realization and be mindfulness, I think these are key things like for survival even. And when in a way, like if you don't just give up, uh, like more things happen, your real survival instincts come out, no? And then, as they say, there was a song also, no, like when the going gets tough, the tough gets going, and like
That's right.
not to become mean and harsh, no, but
No.
like really like the real strengths in you come out, no.
Yeah.
So, as for these things, like what would you like to add, Anthea, through your life experiences and everything, or as per
So,
conclusions of this topic?
all right. So I loved what you said about acceptance, and I loved what you said about, yeah, there's certainty and uncertainty. That's probably the only certainty that we have.
Yeah.
So it's okay to feel uncertain. And also that when challenges come up, uh, that's the time that we grow, and that's the time that we can uh, learn. Because if things are okay and we're on our desert island and the sun shines beautiful and everything's fine, we don't have an opportunity to grow or to learn or to flourish. So I think, and it's about flourishing and blossoming. And if we just stay in the same situation, we don't have that opportunity to flower.
Mhm.
So by going through changes and challenges, that allows us to see what beautiful flower we hold inside ourselves.
Okay. So, yeah, I think we try to bring up this topic and life change, and I'll definitely like. I think I can now fix these videos and put them out, and I'll do it for itself. And so then, yeah, like it was like when I met Anthea today, it was like, oh, long time no see, like, and then so we keep on doing this. And then there's another wonderful person. She's also willing to join us for the next one, hopefully. And we'll be doing these good things, and then we'll have more wonderful topics. And thank you so much, Anthea. And so it was great to be back, and we have these wonderful discussions again. And we'll try to bring it more and more towards. And then maybe now we can do things like which were not able to do even before. So let's see how the new life changes happens, and we can do better and better things to help people.
Exactly. And thank you so much for your time and your wisdom and your insights, Sanji. I always grow and I reflect after these sessions, and I always feel like I really benefit from them. So thank you for your gift towards me and the world.
Oh, thank you so much. Have a
You're
great day,
welcome.
Anthea.
And you too.
And for all the people who are watching, have a wonderful time
Yes.
and a
Yes.
day. So, see you all soon.
See you soon.